It is the end of October, so it is time to update you on our sinking funds, where all of our savings are currently sitting at, and our sinking funds, which we move money in and out of, and how things have changed in comparison to the last time I did this video. Now, I will let you know that there's less money in this account in comparison to last time because life has been lifing lately. So let's get right into it. First things first, our current balance is sitting at $16,385. Interest earned year to date, $617.92. Our APY is currently sitting at 4%. And as you all might have noticed, if you have a high yield savings account, your APY has decreased since probably a month ago because of the Fed lowering interest rates, which means that they are also lowering interest rates on your savings account. Is it still worth it to have a high yield savings account? In my opinion, absolutely, because it is still a lot better than the penny that I was getting with my regular savings way back in the day. Now, if you don't already know about high yield savings account, if you earn more than $10 on these accounts, they do send you a 1099 during tax time, so you can claim the money that you earned on your taxes, and that is America. But again, I still feel like it's worth it. Now let's get to the goods, which is what all of our money is assigned to. If you guys don't know, we do have Ally, which they do have their bucket system, which I'm obsessed with, I'm in love with, and I am not getting any type of kickback or money to say that. I actually just genuinely like the savings accounts where I can tell my money where to go and say, okay, this $100 is for this $100 is for that. If you guys can tell, I am such a type A personality. So this just speaks to my soul. Now, are there other high yield savings accounts out there that might get you a higher APY for the time being until they lower rates again in comparison to Ally? Sure, but that's not what I prioritize, and everyone's gonna prioritize something different. But let's hop right into it, y'all. As you guys notice, a lot of these are sitting at, again, zero. I would love that once the house is paid off for us to have money in every single one of these buckets. That is our goal 100%, but as of right now, this is where we're at. Core savings is just like the main one that they give you. You know, most of your money will go in and out of that unless you select for a different option. Homeowners insurance, which we do plan to put money towards in the month of November. We pay that annually by ourselves. We don't have escrow, so we put money towards that a little bit at a time. Same with car insurance. Right now it's sitting at $265. We don't owe anything until March. In September, we paid about $700-ish. So I think that we are looking pretty good so far. Our patio, which is just like a long-term goal that we have, I'm hoping by around this time next year, we can have a patio built. We are planning for the house to be well paid off by that time. So we definitely want to start planning for those things that we've been putting off, you know, having that delayed gratification with trying to pay off our house early. So definitely want to start saving towards that. And hopefully this time next year, we can have a patio and really enjoy sitting out there and not having to sit on our steps that we've been sitting on since we got this house 4 years ago. So right now, patio is sitting at zero. Of course, the goal is always, if we have a little bit of extra money, we can put extra money towards that, but we just have not been having any extra money. iPhones is another thing that's kind of like a goal that I'd like to do by, let's say again, this time next year. For me and my husband, of course, because it can't just be one of us, it has to be both of us. But that's really just my goal, especially now as a content creator. It just would be helpful. Like usually what we do is like buy a phone and then trade one in and get that credit or less money off of our next purchase. But call me Kevin Gates because I want 2 phones, which is just going to make content creation life a little bit easier. If you know, you know. But that is at zero, of course, because that is not our priority right now. Olympics 2028, $177.61, which I am confident all of that is from the money that we earn on our savings account, like from the interest. So I think that it's been about 3 months now that we've been saving, August, September, and October. So we've been saving towards that, and that's where it's at. And obviously it's not that serious because we have another 4-ish years until we're trying to be done with it. But it was definitely our goal to put money towards this each month, not just from the earning interest. But hey, this is the realness. This is the authentic version. We're not perfect. We make goals and sometimes we just don't reach them because we have a bigger one right now. Vacations, to be very honest with you, we could use some vacation money because we do have a vacation plan for July, which is the month that we pay off the house. Now, it is like a more lax vacation. It's not Walt Disney World or something like that. It's more so to visit family as soon as we pay off the house. So really, we're just going to be paying for things like shelter, lodging, you know, some spending money while we're there, things like that. But it is at zero right now. Maybe our first debt-free, mortgage-free paycheck, we can just use it all at once and fund that there. But as of right now, that is at zero. Car deductible, that is in case we need it, and from our car insurance. For sure, no one plans for stuff like that, but in the event that it did, it'd be nice to have that money there. Also, I guess you could just use your emergency fund. Side hustle taxes, which that's pretty much money that I put aside. Anytime we get some type of income that like isn't from our 9 to 5, I try to put 25% aside. So I've accumulated now about $1,000. I'll say I started earning money probably like in April or May. So that's about 5 months worth of putting money aside. Honestly, I'm hoping that we don't owe anything. So we'll see what ends up happening. But that's where we're at right now, $1,000, which I'm happy with. I'm good with that. I think that that'll more than cover if we did owe something. And if that money can just sit there and we don't end up owing any federal taxes, we'll put it towards other taxes, because there's going to be some type of taxes that we owe. Where we live in our area, we have taxes on state taxes, federal taxes, local taxes, and we have to prepay for the upcoming year, so 2025. So we're going to be able to use it somehow. So it's nice to have that money there regardless. Anyway, renewals, that is for renewing our vehicles. We have to actually renew our vehicles within the next couple of weeks, to be honest with you. So that money has been there funded for at least a couple weeks now, which is very nice. It's for 2 vehicles for 5 years. So that was our goal, to be able to have our vehicles get registered for 5 years, and we reached that goal. So at least that's some goal that we've been on top of. So that's where that is. Birthday money, we don't really have plans for that. That's just kind of sitting there. It's sitting there real pitiful at $20. That has been just kind of sitting there hanging out. Clothes, we don't plan on buying any clothes right now. Definitely not me and my husband. As far as the kids, of course, if they need something, we'll get it. But right now, they're set, especially my younger son, because he has tons in his closet and drawers from hand-me-downs. As far as my older son, he has winter clothes and everything. So we're good on clothes right now. But absolutely, next year, we would love to start funding that again. Rainy day fund. Let's hope we don't have any rainy days, because that is sitting at zero. Home, that's really just if something comes up around the house, you know, we have like an appliance go out or something like we had actually, I think last year that happened, or, you know, something even bigger. So obviously that's not enough for that, but we got to start somewhere. Okay. And then we have our savings accounts for our kids. We took money from that, as you guys know, to contribute to their 529 a couple of weeks ago. So that's what we're left at for one kid. And then we'll get to the other kid later on. Medical expenses, that's pretty drained, because as you guys know, we've been putting any medical expense money in our HSA. So that way we can get some type of tax deduction for contributing to our HSA is the plan with that. So any medical expenses money we have been putting towards our HSA. That is the goal right now. It's just kind of hanging out over there for a bit. Our maintenance, $205. That's not bad. We're definitely not going to reach that goal of $500 by 31st, but that's not bad. That's for oil change that I'm expecting us to get on my husband's car here shortly, but we are supposed to be getting tires for him. That reminds me, that's why we had a goal of 500, but we're going to make it work somehow. We always do. Subscriptions of $25. That's not bad again, but that's not going to make the target date. Guys, I'm really exposing myself here right now, but we end up using the money. We end up pulling that money from someplace else if we can. The only subscription that we have right now is that we have to pay like $100 for $110 for our Ring camera subscription. So $25, that's not too bad. We can move some money around and make it work out, but that's where we're at right now with it. Christmas, $700. November, we're planning to put another $100 aside. So by Christmas, we should have $800 or $900, which will be good. Other kid, that account is pretty much drained now. A lot has been coming out for him because he's had stuff coming up. But again, we contributed $500 to their 529, so it was $250 per kid. Self-care, we are not going to be getting no self-care right now because that account is at zero. Bill payments, right now that account is sitting at zero because it's the end of the month and we're about to pay all of our bills for October, and we won't be able to replenish that until next month when we get paid again. So that is okay that that's at zero. Tax payments, that's going to go towards property taxes and things like that. Not due until February. So we're okay with that. And we are contributing another $500 in December is the plan. January, February, and we'll be set for when that is due in February. And then again in July is how we're going to do it. Lastly, the biggest bucket that we have, which is $10,000 emergency fund. That probably covers, I would say, at least 4 to 5 months of expenses for us, which is pretty good. And I'm happy with that. And I'm trying not to touch it for the $2,500 of total medical expenses that we have, $2,000 of which we still need to come up with, which we're planning to come up with. I know some people did suggest touching it or decreasing it for our medical expenses just because I was pretty stressed out about it, but I want to keep it intact if I can. And if we can just use our paychecks to come up with and satisfy the balances of our medical bills, I would prefer to do that. Because it's funny because like a year ago, our goal was to actually have that be at $15,000. And then about this time last year, we had some car repairs and things like that that had come up. So I want to leave it. I want it to be at $10,000. I really don't want it to go less than that, to be honest with you. Probably after the house is paid off, we can start putting more money towards it. I would love to just have it be like a year emergency fund, which sounds crazy, but I would love that. Like, I'm the type where I just love that cushion. I just love being like, okay, if something were to come up, we're good. So it's not that crazy when we already have like 4 to 5 months worth. And then on top of that, once our house is paid off, we'll have even less expenses. Sinking funds plus all of our monthly expenses on a monthly basis, our expenses would probably come to about $2,000 per month, like at minimum. That's not putting money aside from for medical expenses and stuff like that. I guess if I wanted to times that by 12 months, that would be what, $24,000. But honestly, $2,000 per month, I feel like that's a conservative, like worst case bare bones. That doesn't include like spending money and stuff like that, which obviously if we really needed to live like that, we wouldn't be spending a whole lot of money. But I would just say, let's up it to $25,000 just in case. That's not bad. That's a good feeling knowing that $25,000 in a year would cover our expenses. So that's our goal. Obviously, we're not going to probably get there by the end of next year just because there's so many things that we could do with our money and then also be planning to go part-time. So let's just say mid-2026, hopefully we can have a fully funded year emergency fund. And I feel like that's, a year worth of expenses. But what if, a furnace goes out, air conditioning? So I just feel like you need a whole nother fund for that. Like that's almost like an emergency within itself. But that's what home expenses is for. So it's like, I would love to have a whole home emergency fund. Easily people say furnaces can go to like what, $10,000, 15 if something were to happen. So like an AC on top of that, all the things, that could be at least what, $20,000, 25. I'm getting you ahead of myself. The point is that I'm saying there's always some place I feel like your money could be going. So yes, we could have a $25,000 emergency fund that covers a year's worth of expenses, but then I would like another $25,000 for anything that could come up with your house, an emergency with your house, like a house emergency fund, which is a lot within itself and just way over my head right now and something I can't even fathom having, but I know we could get there over time. So tell me some of your savings goals in the comments. And do you ever think about stuff like this? Like how with having a house, you want to have a nice cushion to be sitting on. You know what I'm saying? But thank you so much for watching. Like the video and I will see you in the next one.